For those of us here on YouTube that like to collect old stuff, be it vintage tube equipment, vintage audio from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, computers, and whatever else tickles your fancies. I've even seen people that collect shop vices and anvils. I guess my wife should consider me lucky, her lucky that I collect radios, even though they take up a lot of space, versus anvils and vices, because they could take up a lot of space and break your back doing that. Anyway, you ever meet a product or have a product that you like and it quit working to a point that you can't use it no more, and you've got to replace it with today's Chinese bull that's out there for electronics that is just junk, more or less. At least that's my opinion. Some of it's good, don't get me wrong. Some of it, I don't know how it made it past the testing and design stages and got out as a finished product, but lo and behold, it did. I have this 2005 Hewlett-Packard ZE4300 laptop. I've had this since about 2005, I think early 2005 I got this, and it was an open box item at a Best Buy up in Fredericksburg, Virginia, where I bought this at. I traveled on the road for a while and I decided I needed a computer, so I bought this one and used it on the road with me for several years, and it did come in handy for snapping shots on the job sites and sending it back to the home office and such, and being able to send emails and play games and do whatever else you like to do when you're bored and away from home for weeks at a time. What this thing suffers from is the backlights have quit working. Now, I don't know if it's just the tubes that are out, or there's a watching videos online this morning, there's some kind of little regulator or something up here that controls the power out to these tubes, and there's a possibility that those could be bad, but the tubes that still are fully functional, it's just that that part's bad, it won't light them. And that's actually pretty neat technology. I always wondered how these worked, and it looks like it's pretty complicated to tear one of these apart. There's a lot of do not touch here emblems from what I've seen on on YouTube videos of people tearing these apart. And when we bought our new PC, our new laptop at Best Buy this past summer, I actually asked them what it would cost to replace this lights in this, if that's what's wrong, and them sending it out through all their diagnostics and crap through that Geek Squad would have been almost $200. Well, folks, that's like a third of the price I paid for the new computer. So we switched to video mode over on this because you still have graphics. You can see the picture Windows is displaying with a flashlight. That's how I actually got this switched over to using an external monitor when it quit working. Everything's still there. They wanted over $200 to replace those backlights or whatever makes that circuit run in this thing. This is not high performance by any means compared to today's standard, which this probably was back in the day. It only has a 30 gig hard drive. Runs Windows XP. I forget how many bytes of RAM this had. I think I had 2 sticks of 512 in this for RAM. And it did alright. It got around the internet pretty good. And a matter of fact, here a while back when we had to have our new laptop serviced because Windows 7 was doing some pretty quirky crap, I actually hooked this one back up to my external monitor and used it for about a week, and it got along just fine. So the XP updates on this system are about a month outdated, maybe 2 at the most. It was around Christmas when I used it, but it still got up and it performed flawlessly. It does have a DVD burnable drive right here. Plays CDs and DVDs and records DVDs and CDs and such. Of course, the batteries, I think, here on the side. Here's your status lights for power, hard drive, and anything else you might have plugged into it. Over here you have your mute button, your volume, headphones, microphone, external hard drive. This is a slot for a wireless card. Here you have your dial-up modem. Of course, here's your fan on the side here. And on the back you have your typical stuff you have. You have your power jack and your USB ports, your Ethernet card. They called this a NES video output, which I did use on this computer quite a bit. It was nice. Serial ports, printer ports, I/O ports, monitor port, and I'm not sure what else this thing had on it. I think that's about it. And all your crap you got on the bottom here. Makes everything work the way it's supposed to work. But I'd love to get the monitor working on this again. I'd use it down here in the shop. if it did work, which I just don't feel like setting up a separate station and bringing a clunky tube monitor down here. The flat screen one might not be so bad if I could find one secondhand at a rummage shop or Goodwill or whatnot. But as it sits right now, this thing's basically a paperweight. I don't have anything on it. It's all been taken off and backed up other locations and such. But if anybody's got any down and dirty quick ideas about replacing them things, which I didn't really see anything that staggers the replacement of these tubes from model to model any different. You know, you had to take it all apart, take the screen apart, and all the tape that's on the back and the wires and such, and they all replaced the same way. So like I said, it's a lot different technology than what I envisioned seeing inside of one of these. So I read online that there's LED replacements for the tubes in there, and you can buy them, and the tubes are cheap. They seem like they're between $15 and $17 on eBay plus shipping, but you want to make sure you know what you're getting, because a lot of them sites say measure twice, measure 3 times, measure 10 times. Make sure it's right before you order, because they want to make sure you get the proper replacements to fit your machine. So I just thought I'd share this with the community out there and let y'all see what I got here, and love to get it back up and running one of these days. So that's all for now.